So while going through the torsos from the recent buy, we have the dark brown, dark blue, dark azure, red, bright green, but then which just looks completely normal. There's olive green and flat silver. However, if you look at the page for just the plain torso, and then go to olive green, you can see that that torso doesn't actually exist. And if you go to flat silver, it doesn't exist as well. So that's interesting. I'm very certain that this stuff here is not print rubbed off. But then let's actually just check. Does this torso ever show up? Flat silver 973 pearl gold. Show up anywhere at all with pearl gold arms? The answer is no. So it theoretically might have been washed off print, but they look very good. They don't look like they've been washed or anything like that. The dark blue torsos have a whole bunch of marks and stuff like that, but those do exist in that color, so I'm not concerned about those. But for the flat silver and olive green, they're in very nice condition. There's a few small marks on them and stuff like that, but on an overall level, these things look brand new almost. Whoop, that went flying. I know that they aren't necessarily brand new, and I mean, they aren't now because I'm checking them for damage, and that involves adding bricks, which makes them not new. But yeah, then that's just an interesting find, because these things just do not exist in these colors originally. So, option one, which is more likely, is that a print was rubbed off of them, and then it is just a plain torso. Or option two, these are from a factory from who knows when. Like, I mean, this stuff here is quite old. It's not from the recent Mexico factory thing. That's more recent years. This stuff here is quite far back in comparison to that. So it's just interesting overall how these are here. But yeah, that is definitely an interesting find. These ones are worth a decent amount. But the thing is, anyone could theoretically just wipe the print off a torso. I've never actually done that before, so I have no idea how difficult that is, and if it leaves marks or something like that. But just an interesting find with all this stuff here. No combination of any of these torsos for the torso and arm colors, or this one here, or this, well, actually none of them. Well, this one never had any arms on it, but none of the combinations before were ones that existed. So yeah, it's just quite an interesting find for sure. But I've got a brick store file created now, and just getting some pricing together, and I don't think that that's how much that's worth. Let me just see real quick. 973 bright green, these things can't be worth that much. Let's take a look. 12 sold, 200 available. Yeah, this thing's only about $1 or so. So that one's a bit inflated price-wise, but yeah, just interesting overall. This one here does seem to be the one that is worth the most, as we can see here. 973 flat silver. Let me get it back up. Right over here, there's 3 sold at about the $9.50 mark, all from Poland, so that's definitely interesting. But yeah, then I'm basically taking all the arms off the torsos and then parting them out, except for these torsos, since let me get the file back up. It's this torso here, which is $4.46 each, and then I can take the black hands from these torsos and these torsos for the replacements, because they used to have the dark blue hands, but they never showed up in that combination. But yeah, definitely an interesting thing. So I'll work on this file and see what it ends up being worth. But yeah, theoretically, the stuff, the print could have been wiped off without leaving a mark, but this stuff is definitely an interesting find for sure. So all in all, there ended up being 388 torso parts, 24 lots. For the flat silver, I did ask in the forums to see if they are allowed, just to double check, because I know with all of the monochrome parts from a while back, a lot of that stuff was no longer allowed, because most of it, well, not necessarily most, but like a large portion was specifically from the night shift parts and stuff like that. So yeah, then there's a whole bunch of this stuff floating around. But then since this stuff here is most likely not from that, considering everything, then I am going ahead and listing these. And if I get a response in the forums explaining about how it's not allowed, I'll probably take them down and see if I can sell them on eBay or something. But then for the flat silver, there's 3 or 4 sold at $9-ish to $9.50 a piece. And those were with only a quantity of 1 or 2. And so since I have 15 of them, I priced it at $7.49, a little bit lower. Then for the olive green at $2.49, there are some sold at $5. And then think it was 10 or so sold at like $1.50. So I just priced them at that. And then all the other parts are at the 6-month sales average. I think I dropped the price on the dark blue hands a little bit though. But everything else should be at the 6-month sales average. So that is now uploaded. And then I'm going to list another thing from up there of the damaged minifigure parts for eBay. So I'm going to work on that next. So yeah, quick update on the barb things there. I added some baking soda, I think that's what it was, that someone recommended, and the smell is a lot less major now. It's still a little bit there, so I am going to leave it a bit longer. It's been soaking for 2 or 3 days, I think. With that, I should probably change the water out to help it go faster or something like that. I'll probably do that Monday if it's not done by Monday, because there's mostly gone now, so I'm going to just leave it a bit longer to see if that helps. But yeah, then the next minifigure lot up for eBay is this one. It's 3.5 pounds of minifigure parts. I've just got the listing started, and so now the next step is to photograph it. So for that, I have a towel here, which I use for drying minifigure lots off. And then I use it for this as well. I'll usually open up a drawer like that, and then it's easier with 2 hands, but then you can kind of attach it on the one side like that. And then if you grab the other side, you can put it into another drawer over here. And then you can, to help steady it out, add it into a few drawers in between. And then that will usually, one second, let me just set this phone down for a second. So yeah, then you can put it into some drawers like that, and then it will help hold it a little bit, and then you can have it something like that, and then you can just get the towel nice like that. Then you can grab the bag and open it up like that, and then just dump out the bag onto the towel and make sure it's empty, and then just move everything around a little bit. There's a lot of legs in this one. This here is one of the parts that, just because it's so large, it's not worth selling because I'll end up losing money on it. And then stuff like that. Most likely lose money on it, not guaranteed, but then there's just all that stuff. Yeah, there's a few of the torsos from the huge Chima lot that just has some marks on them, and since I have so many of them, I'll get just about as much money selling them as bulk than I will actually from listing them. So yeah, just a whole bunch of stuff, a couple of cannon bases. I just put a few accessories mixed in, like, well, that's a good example, cannon bases. It's not technically a minifigure part, but in the description of the listing, I talk about how it's for minifigure parts and accessories and stuff like that, because a damaged cannon thing with one clip broken. I'm not quite sure what is wrong with this one. It's probably brittle brown or something like that. And so some people might still be able to use that. So for accessory stuff like that, I do mix them in with the minifigure parts for the listings. So yeah, then now I'm going to photograph this and get this auction started. So yeah, going to work on that now. The auction is now up. If anyone's interested in getting some damaged minifigure parts for cheap. Yogurt time. Sold 3 sets from the eBay room, actually 4 of them. But first off, sold this set here for $27.50. It was free. Then sold this one here for $47.50. It was free. And then sold one of these guys here for $45, and it was free. So that is 3 gift with purchases that sold. And then somewhere, I think it's one of these guys here, sold one of these for One second, let me carefully remove that. Sold one of these guys here. I think it was for $60. It might have been for $65. I'll double check. So yeah, this one here was $65. So 4 sets sold. Just sold one more set. It was a Flintstone set, and I forgot to check the price, but I'm pretty sure it was maybe 147 bucks or so. So that is a 5th set sold for this shipping day. I'm going to start pulling Bricklink orders now because I am going to try to start filming some of the Pablo videos again. I did put one out the other day, but if I start a bit earlier today, then I should be able to film some of them again because there's quite a few that are probably decent for Pablo's again, and so then I'll work on that. I might also try just maybe trying to pack one of these things up for a video or something like that. Maybe the one with multiple sets or something like that. So I'm going to try some of this stuff out and see if I can get some stuff done. So I'm probably not going to be pulling any orders for Pick a Brick today because I've spent quite a while trying to get a tripod to work to see if that would help. And so I thought that would somehow make it better, but it just didn't. I spent like half hour, almost an hour just trying different setups, but it just made the whole thing more difficult, and now I'm running short on time, so I don't have time to film any of that stuff, so I won't be filming, packing anything, or pulling any orders. But yeah, then I'm going to start pulling orders now, and I'll see if I have time to maybe pack the sets up tonight. Just sold 2 of the blank olive green torsos for $2.50 each, so it's nice that they are already selling. Just sold the first of the parts from the Chima lot, 10 of each hand. My sister picked up 3 of these on the Black Friday on Amazon a couple years ago. I want to say like 2 years ago or so, whenever they retired. They were on sale for, I think it was like $10 or so each. Just sold the first one now for $40 plus tax and shipping. So they ended up paying $75 for 2 base plates. It's absolutely crazy what people pay for stuff just like this. But yeah, then hiding their name and stuff like that. You can see the thing right there. And then they paid $49.99. And then after tax and shipping is $74.71. So yeah, it's just one of these. Yogurt time. All of the orders have now been pulled. This one here had a whole bunch of plant parts and stuff in it. But yeah, then all of these are here. The one person ordered a whole bunch of 4x4 plates, a whole bunch more space parts again, then some quivers and more helmets in that one, a whole bunch of shovels. I think they got like 114 shovels and stuff like that. So I am now going to start packing orders up and getting them shipped out. Just finished with packing all the orders. Can't really go around because then I'll show a whole bunch of addresses and stuff. But yeah, everything's now packed up. So now that I'm finally all caught up on the other stuff, that means that I can now finally get to working on the 2x6 plates, since it's been quite a while since I was listing some of the stuff from this table. And in the meantime, my dad already finished sorting all of the 2x8 plates, and he's started to stack them. So yeah, lots of stuff for me to get through. And yeah, I should be able to get to work now finally, because I'm finally finished with all the stuff that was on the table for a while and stuff like that. And then I finally found some of the boxes that were missing. There were a couple mixed in here, but then most of them were in the stack all mixed up. But yeah, lots to do. But yeah, then update on these parts now. After forgetting about them soaking in the baking soda water for a while, they now seem to be all good. So yeah, they don't really have a smell of gas anymore. And yeah, so that is now drying off. So yeah, thanks to the person who suggested baking soda. But yeah, now that is all good. So all the Lego ended up being salvageable. Looks like it's snowing. I wonder if I can catch a snowflake. Or, well, maybe pick one up off the roof. Yep, it's snowing. Yogurt time. So just getting to work today. So yeah, then there was a little bit of snow. So that was nice. although many Canadians aren't too big fans of the snow, surprisingly. But it's nice to have it snowing now, because it's not quite December, but it's getting pretty close to December, and that fell over. And we haven't really had much snow yet. We had a little bit, but not really much. And so this stuff here is dry now, and it doesn't have a gas smell. It's got a light, like very light soap smell, but it's not like you can really smell it much. It's like if you grab a whole bunch of them and smell it a few times, you can lightly smell just a little bit of soap, but then just letting it air out for a while, that'll probably fix that. So there's that. And so then just getting all the lights on here. This is what is next up for listing all of these 2x6 plates. I got the brick store file created, and so I can get to work on that stuff. Had a nice order. Let me get it up real quick. Over here, one moment. Sold a couple of the Chima parts. Let me get the page up. Right here. Sold for all 414 of the Raven heads for $124. Sold all 2,175 of the bright light blue heads for $543. Well, 2 of the normal torsos, and then sold all 715 sets of the legs for $214. So that is overall not bad. All in all, this order was just over $1,000. But then yeah, going to try to get through some of this stuff today. Then no more Lego in the mail today, but a lot of the stuff related to that has finally shipped. I just got like 7 emails from Lego when they send you the receipt, which is usually what they send you when they finally ship it for standard brick orders. So that hopefully will start showing up in the next couple of weeks. And then those envelope things just have a tendency to refuse to go into the garbage can, and they just like to go everywhere but the garbage can. And they just really do not like that. And so you have to catch these guys somehow. They like to go on these cords and stuff like that. So I have to always try to find those guys. But yeah, then this is the end of the vlog. So thank you for watching if you got this far. Today is a Wednesday, so the next vlog should be out on Saturday. And hopefully I can get through some of these 2x6 plates. But then on a side note, before I forget, I'm almost 100% certain that for this year, I'm not going to be buying any more of these sets for the end of the year for part out. It's just this year, there's nothing really that special, and I feel like the money that would have gone to that would be much, much more useful to going to other purchases. So I don't think I'll be buying any more of those this year, but I'll see if I can maybe get a few if they go on a good sale or something like that, but it's unlikely I'll be buying many more, if any at all. So I just thought I'd point that out real quick, because it's been a couple of weeks since I bought any of them, and I still got a couple of them ready for the end of the year, but not really that many. I won't part them out till the end of the year, though, just in case I do get more. But yeah, just thought I'd point that out real quick before I forget.